Yes, and okay, and hi, friend. So, and noticed. And have you ever noticed something? Hey, friend, you know that. You noticed, and yes, and have you ever have you ever noticed something that and noticed something? Something. Hey, hey, friend, you know that. Have you noticed? And have you ever noticed something that? Have you noticed? And have you ever noticed something that manage? In managing yourself, in managing a team, or a country, the country, and managing and governing a country, then a similar manage, managing yourself, manage, and managing yourself, and managing a team, and managing a team, and managing, or that governing, or managing, and governing a country that are similar, and government, and governing a country, or similar, that or similar, or similar. Hey, friend, you know that. Have you noticed? And have you ever noticed something that managing yourself, and managing a team, or governing a country that are similar? Yes, I do. Yes, I have, and I have noticed that. So that similarity, yeah, the big similarity, and the biggest similarity is, and I think the similarity, the biggest similarity is this. Similarity, the biggest and biggest similarity, and similarity, or is this similarity, is this that yet everything that starts with you, yet everything that starts with you, and everything that starts with you. It starts with you. Starts with you. I think the similarity, the big similarity, the biggest similarity is this, that everything starts with you. But you know that if you cannot manage yourself, it's hard. It's really hard to manage anyone else. That if you can't manage yourself, if that, I know you can't, you can manage yourself. If you can manage, if I know you can manage yourself. Yourself is hard, very hard. It's really hard to manage anyone else. It's hard. It's really hard to manage anyone else. To manage anyone else. And anyone else that I know everything that starts with you. And if in the case that you can't manage yourself, it's hard. It's really hard, difficult, tough to manage anyone else. Manage anyone else. Manage anyone else. Exactly. True. So true. Exactly, you are. True. So true. I know self-management, it might sound small, very small, but foundation is that, but it's the foundation, self-management and self-management, self-manage. The management might sound small, very small, might sound small, very small, but but it's the foundation. But it's the foundation. It's the foundation. Is the foundation. Management might sound small, very small, but that is the foundation. So many things, and it includes so many things. I know it includes many things, and it includes it includes so many things. It includes many things, like and manage your time, your emotions. Managing your time, your emotions. Managing your time. Managing your time. And managing your emotions. Your emotions. Your time. The managing your time, managing your emotions, your works too, and managing your works too. Responsibility, sense of responsibility, that your manage. Another manage. That your works, your works, and managing your responsibility, sense of responsibility. That your sense of responsibility, sense of responsibility. responsibility. It includes, I know it includes so many things, like manage your time, manage your emotions, and manage your words, your sense of responsibility too. I see so many people, they really want to be teacher, actor, leaders. Like, I see a lot of people. And I see so many people, a lot of people that they want to be leaders. I know they want to be leaders. They want to be leaders. Yeah. And they want to be. They want to be leaders. I know that, I see that so many people, a lot of people, they want to be leaders, or that they want to manage a team, or they really want to manage a team, or they want to manage a team. But as you know, they can't control their emotions. They can't control them. They get angry easily. But no, they can't control their emotions. Because you know that they can't. No, they cannot. They can't control their emotions. But they can control their emotions. Control their emotions. Get angry easily. They get angry easily. Get angry. They get angry easily. They get angry easily. I know so many people, a lot of people, they want to be leaders. They want to manage a team, but they can't control their emotions. They get angry easily and blame other people. They blame other people, others, and that they blame other people. They blame other people, and others. And especially when that happens, and when that happens, okay, when that happens, when that happens, unstable. It becomes unstable, and the whole team, that becomes unstable, and you're the team, the whole team becomes. So in the team, and the whole team becomes unstable, becomes unstable, becomes stable, unstable. They get angry easily. They blame other people, others, and when what happens, the whole team becomes unstable. Steady. Then if the leader isn't steady, It's hard. It's very hard. It's impossible to build trust, and it's impossible too to build trust if the leader and if the leader and if the leader is steady, isn't steady, steady, isn't steady. It's hard. It's impossible. Impossible? No, it's impossible to build trust. It's impossible to build trust. And it's possible. Impossible. It's impossible. Impossible to build trust. To build trust. And if the leader, and if you are, that the leader isn't steady, it's impossible to build trust. Right, that's right. That's right. You're right. That's right. And when you manage yourself well, very, very well, you know exactly your strengths. And if you manage yourself well, you know exactly your strengths. Especially when you manage yourself well, yourself well. When you manage yourself well, you know exactly your strengths. You know your strengths. And you know exactly your strengths. Your strengths. Your strengths. And your weaknesses. And you know your weaknesses. You know, and you know your weaknesses. You know your strengths, your weaknesses. Weaknesses. You know your strengths. You know that. You know when to listen instead of reacting immediately. And you know when to listen instead of reacting. You know when to listen. And you know when to listen. Please listen to me. You know when to listen. Instead of reacting, instead of reacting, instead of reacting, right away, immediately. Instead of reacting, you know when to listen. How is it different? How is it managing a team different? So, how is it different? So, and how is it? How is it different? Managing a team different. Is it different? How is it different? How is managing a team different? Managing a team is different. How is it different? How is it managing a team different? I think that managing a team is this. I think it's this, and I think that managing a team is this. I think the managing a team is this. Is this. That expanded to other people. Is self-management expanded to other people, and it is that self-management expanded to other people. Expanded to other people. Other people. So you how is it different? How is managing a team different? I think managing a team is this. That is a self-management expanded to other people. Assigning tasks, and it's not just assigning tasks, and is assigning is not just assigning tasks, and assigning tasks. Okay. It's not just assigning tasks. That understand. Is it understanding people? Is it understanding people? Yes. Understanding. That understanding people. The people. So, but what does it mean? What does it mean? But and what do you mean by understanding people? Can you tell me more? But what do you mean by? What do you mean? What does it mean? And what do you mean by understanding people? What do you mean by understanding people? I mean that understanding the different personalities. I mean that understanding different personalities. I mean that. What do you mean? I mean understanding the different personalities. That understanding the different personalities. That personalities. But what does it mean? What do you mean by understanding people? I mean understanding different personalities, motivations, and situations. Understanding motivations and understanding personal situations. Understand. and understanding motivations. Understanding the motivations and situations, personal situations. A person and personal situations. Okay. Then what do you mean? I mean understanding different personalities, understanding motivations, and understanding personal situations. I work this way, then you work that way, and I work this way, you work that way, and everyone works. Not everyone works in the same way. Not everyone works in the same way. I work this way, you work that way. Not everyone. Not and everyone works best in the same way. They work best. Works best. Work best in the same way. And in the same way. I work this way, you work that way. Not everyone works in the same way, best in the same way. Yeah, the hard part. That's the hard part, and that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. That's the hardest, and the hardest part. That's the hard part. That's the hardest part. And use it and use one way, one rule for everyone. I can't use one rule for everyone. You can. I can. And you can use one rule. Use that one rule. One rule for everyone. For everyone. That I can use it just one method, one rule for everyone. Exactly. True. So true. Exactly. You are. Exactly. And if you want to control them, control the people, you have to put pressure on them. That I know that they work. Then they work out of fear. If you just control people, if that you only control people, you want to control, you only control. You only control people. Control them. Control people that put pressure on them, and put pressure on them. And look at the put pressure on them. Put pressure on them. They do. Yeah, yes, of course you already do. They work, but they work out of fear. They do. They work, sure, but they work. They work out of fear. That you control. You just they want to control them, control people, to put pressure on them. They work, sure, but they work out of fear. Not out of trust. Not out of trust. Not out of, and not and out of trust. Not out of trust. And when that, especially when it you gone, once the matter gone, it's gone. Everything gonna start to fall apart. Once, especially when then you're gone, the matter is gone. And once you gone, then the manager is gone. The manager's gone. The manager's gone. Is gone. You gone. Everything starts to fall apart. Everything starts. And everything that starts to fall apart and fall apart. Especially when that you're gone, that the manager is gone, everything starts to fall apart. And what about a country? How about a country? And what about the managing a country? And what about the governing a country? What about that? So, and what about it? Managing, governing a country. Governing a country. Government, governing. And governing a country. Like, and I feel like that, it feels like that at a different level, a completely different level. I feel like that it feels like that a different level, completely different. And I know that that feels like that a different level, a completely different. That completely at a completely different level. At a different level. I feel like that it feels like that at a completely different level. Yeah, that you're right. And it's on a bigger and bigger scale. It's on a bigger scale. You're right. Because it's on a bigger scale. Bigger. And a bigger and bigger scale. And scale. And it's at a bigger scale. But then the principle, especially the core principle is the same. It's still the same. But the principle, the core principle, but the principle and the core, the core principle is the same. It's still the same. But the core, the principle that is the same, is still the same. But the principle, the core principle is the same. I know it means managing a big system, a massive system, a huge system. The governing country means that Governing a country, managing a country means that. And the governing a country, and managing a country means what? Means manage, and managing a big system, huge, a massive system that manage, and managing a big, massive system, and the managing and the governing a country. So it means that everything, many things, people, laws, and resources. People, people, laws, and resources. Many things, like people, laws, and resources. So, and can you imagine that? Can you imagine that if you can't, or an evil leader can't manage yourself, the consequences are serious, very serious, much more serious. Can you imagine that? And if a leader can't, and you and someone that they can manage themselves, and if a leader, if a leader that they can't manage themselves. The consequences. The consequences are serious, much more serious. The consequences. And the consequences. Consequences are serious, much more than much more than serious. If a leader can't, if you can't manage themselves, and the consequences are serious, much more than serious. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Your decision, maybe the so bad emotional decision in your life, in your personal life, maybe the problem affected a few people. Decision, the bad emotional decision. Your decision, a bad emotional decision. An emotional decision. Your decision, bad emotional decision in your life, in a personal life, in personal life, in the personal life, might affect a few people. That might affect just a few people. Bad decision, bad emotional decision in your life, a personal life that might affect a few people, but at the big level, a national level, at the national level, at a big level, national level, and national level, that millions of people, you know, that it can affect the millions. Absolutely it can. And it can affect the millions. And the millions of people, it can affect the millions. I think that managing a country and governing a country requires that strong, very, very strong discipline. I think. So, you know, I think that managing a country and governing a country, government, and governing a country, requires a strong, very strong discipline. Requires that requires strong discipline. Requires strong discipline. So I think that managing a country and governing a country requires strong discipline, not just in actions, but in thinking too. Your thought and the way you think, in thinking too, not just in actions, but in the way you think, thinking too. Thinking too, but in thinking too. That fairness, and it requires the fairness. It requires fairness, and it requires fairness, and fairness. It requires fairness. If laws aren't fair, if laws are fair, aren't unfair. And can you imagine that if laws are unfair and unfair, trust, you lose, I lose, everyone loses. That the people lose trust. People lose trust. That the people lose trust. It requires fairness, and can you imagine that laws are unfair, the people lose trust. It's like that a team. It's like a team that loses the trust in its leader. Just like that. Just like a team. Just like a team loses. Loses trust in its leader. And loses the trust in its leader, in in its leader. That if you lose trust, so you think that do you think and do you really think that everything starts with the self management? You think so that do you think that everything starts with self management? So that do you think? Do you really think? Do you think? And do you really think? Do you really think that everything starts with self-management, and it starts with self-management. Self-manage and the management. Manage the management. Do you think that everything starts with self-management? Yeah, I think so. Yes, I do. I think so. Yes, I do. And I think that manage yourself. And managing yourself is learning how to take responsibility. I think that managing yourself is that. And managing yourself is learning how to take responsibility. Is learning how to take responsibility. Learning that how to take responsibility. How to take and respond. Responsibility. That I know managing yourself is learning how to take responsibility. That when you can deal with, when you can solve, when you can handle the very small responsibilities, well, that when you can handle responsibilities, very small responsibilities, well, and that when you, especially when you can handle, that you can handle and solve small responsibilities, very small and small responsibilities. Well, I think that you're ready for that. You're more prepare for the bigger and bigger ones, bigger and bigger responsibilities, and you're prepared for it. You're prepared for it. You're prepared for it. You're more prepared for it. You're more and more prepare for bigger and bigger ones. Prepare for that. Prepare for bigger and the bigger ones, bigger responsibilities, and the bigger ones you are prepared for. And not everyone is ready. Is ready to manage other people. other people, because not everyone is ready to manage other people. So that not everyone is ready to. Everyone. And everyone is ready to manage other people. Is ready to manage. Is ready to manage other people and others. Not everyone is ready to manage other people, others. Yeah. Exactly, you are. Exactly. 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 Yeah, exactly. And that power. Do you want? A lot of people that want power? You know, a lot of people really want power. A lot of people. You know, a lot of people. They want, and they really want power. Do you want a power? Power. But they don't want responsibility. They don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to take responsibility. But they don't want to. They don't want responsibility. They don't want responsibility. And responsibility. They don't. A lot of people want power, but they don't want responsibility. Besides that, I think good is a very good leader that doesn't need to talk a lot. They don't need to talk a lot. I think that a good leader. I think, and I also think that. I also think that good, very good, a good leader, very good, a good leader. They it doesn't need to talk a lot. It doesn't need to talk need to talk a lot. Doesn't need to talk a lot. Doesn't need to talk a lot. Actions, your actions, and their actions speak. Their actions speak. Your actions and their actions. The actions speak. Your action and their actions speak. Consistent. Okay. They always stay consistent. They stay consistent always. And they stay consistent. And they stay consistent. And consistent. They stay consistent in the family, whether it's in the family, a team, and our society, the country. And the whether is in the family. Whether that is in a family and is in a family. Is in a family. Family, a team, country, or our society, and or a society. that consistency is that and is what builds is what builds trust. It's consistency. Then is what builds trust. Consistency. And it consistency is that is what and is what builds trust. Is what builds trust. And is what builds trust. And is that and is what builds trust. And trust, it just is what it keeps on any system running. That it keeps that running. Keeps a country, a team, the company, the system running. And trust. And trust. And is what keeps on any system running. That is what keeps on any system running. Is what keeps any system running. Any system. That a system running. In the end. In the end. Okay, and if you see that, if you see the self-management as the root, I see, and if you see, I see that self-management, the self and management, so the management as the root, and as the root. And the team management as a strong team management. The team management and team management. And the management as the trunk. And as a trunk. The root, the trunk. And the governing a country, the managing a country as the top of the tree, as the top of the tree. At the top of the tree, as the top of the tree. And governing a country. And governing a country. A country as the top of a tree. As at the top. The top of the tree. The top of the tree. So that if the root isn't strong, the taller the tree grows, and it's very easy and to break. And if the root isn't strong, if the root isn't strong, and if the root isn't strong, that is so strong, and isn't strong. If the root isn't strong, that then the taller the tree grows. The taller the tree grows, and the taller the tree grows, and taller the tree the three and the three rows. Easier, and the easier it is to break. That easy, the easier is to break. Is to break. To break, the taller the three rows, easy. The easier is to break. That makes me realize something. That really makes me to realize something. That makes me realize something. And that makes me realize something. And realize something. That okay, and it matters. How much that individual responsibility matters, and how much it matters. That how much responsibility, the individual responsibility. Individual responsibility. Individual responsibility. Individual that responsibility matters. How much it matters. Okay, how much individual responsibility matters? Yeah. Okay. Then before you try to change the word. Before I try to change the word. Before trying to change the word. Try. And trying to change. And change the word. I know before trying to change the word. Maybe probably I think we should learn when one thing is something first. Maybe probably that we should. I should. You should. We should. They should. Learn something first. We should all and all that learn something. Learn something first. That the place and how to manage yourself and ourselves first, and how to manage your time, emotion, and your thinking. That manage and ourselves. First. Okay. So, hôm nay chúng ta khuya quá rồi, hôm nay chúng ta sẽ tạm dừng ở đây rồi. Nhưng mà thank you, anh cảm ơn nhóm rất là nhiều nha. Và nếu có khi nào á, là nếu như mà cần gì về tiếng Anh á, thì nhóm có thể nhắn cũng được nha. Nhóm cần về phát âm, thuyết trình, giao tiếp. Các bạn đi du học á, các bạn làm cho công ty nước ngoài á, and everything and everywhere, thì nhóm cũng có thể nhá cũng được nhóm. Thank you, cảm ơn nha, cảm ơn nhóm nhiều nhé. Nhóm Nghỉ ngơi à? Thank you, cảm ơn ạ. Cảm ơn, thank you. Nhóm nghỉ ngơi à? Thank you. Bye bye. Cảm ơn ạ. Yeah, thank you. Bye bye nhóm.